EDC standard meeting at 7:58 p.m. First item on the agenda is the consent agenda items, a discussion, consideration, possible action regarding the approval of the minutes of the regular JEDC meeting of February 11th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular call JEDC meeting on February 11th.
Got a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Got a second from Joe. All in favor say aye. Aye. We have unanimous approval on the consent agenda items. Moving to the regular agenda items, discussion possible action on a capital project for EDC. So, Joe, this is part of the discussion. In your packet, I've given you the maps that should have been the basis for a capital improvement plan, but those are the boards. So there's two things that are in there. One of them is what Joe's got, which is gonna be the big map.
Very long.
This is what we're talking about. So, this is the water plan, and then on the next page we got in there, that's the wastewater plan. Normally, every one of these little project identifiers.
You should be able to that.
Would be on a sheet with a dollar value and a date. So, we're jumping the gun a little bit since there is some, native knowledge.
Thank you for the big maps.
Well, yeah.
So what Joe has done, with the common engineering firm, this is the KPA, is the common engineering firm for both the city of Joe and for us and for Joe's Way, okay? So what we've always known is that we had to be able to get from the west side to the east side, okay? We know that we've known for years that we needed to put bores in. There actually were bores in the original CIP plans back in 2022. You know, so the idea was we've got enough money, we could go in and put these bores in, okay? And Joe basically set this up so you can see all of the items that would be involved in these plans, both the description of the material. Okay.
So the total cost would be $560,000?
Yes, that's what it's looking at right there. On that one, the first one you're looking at, Williamson County down by Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
And speaking with KPA, we're looking at some, since they are an engineering firm for the city of Gerald, and we have a service contract with us as EDC. I know that there's been a lot of interest on both sides, east and west, for the past year or two. And there was a concern about bringing water from either side of the road, and the cost and timing was one of the deals. And one of the things is about permitting. Permitting is one of the killers in I-35. But we're fortunate enough with KPA, they have relationships where we can kind of get things moving along. So we looked at some of the key areas, and this was one of the best areas because of elevation, because you got a bore pit and a catch pit on both sides of the road. And since we know there's so much work, we got a lot over here, we got some future subdivisions, we got Circle K, which is to the left of that. And of course, we got the great Ronald Reagan that's coming through there. And so that was one of the areas that we figured that would be the best area for flexibility, water. And like I said, this initial one is just a bore and yes, a piece of pipe inside it with a valve on both ends. Whether it's sewer or water, we don't know. More likely it'll probably be water. That actually entices people to come, and we can get developers or to pay for the sewer on it. So this is one of the key areas that we identified on it. Since I've had this created and set down the meeting, I personally would encourage that we change that from a 12 to a 20 inch.
That was my question.
Yes.
How much water?
Yeah.
Before you're doing this.
Yes, so it's a 12 we can get anywhere from 5 to 8 million gallons a day out of that pipe.
Layman's terms to me, because I don't know how to do it. What will that serve?
They can serve.
That's 12. What can I do over here?
Yes.
You could do what? 5,000 homes?
Yeah, you easily
Easy
5,000
homes.
Easy 5,000 homes. And this
Well,
one's
I
been.
hope we're not building homes on 35.
No. Oh, no. This is to get to work. Somebody.
The two that you're showing, that I'm showing here tonight would be the temporary, the final to what Gerald needs. Because right now, the city of Gerald already has a bore up there, what we call Yankee Bridge, but I don't know what it's really called, but I-35 Bridge or something like that. They have one there, Gerald Sweatner has one. We got, Gerald Sweatner has one up there at, Kirkendale, Prairie Dale, a bridge and everything. And since we have interagreements between each other, my water's your water's my water, because we can be here. So we're all family here. So right now, the city of Gerald, and Gerald Sweatner is working with ARPA. We're putting a 16-inch right across at 314, which goes across 314 to 310. So there's gonna be another there. So once we get this, every major, bridge between, Shell Road and Salado will have, we could have a bore underneath it. Initially, like this year, we're looking at a water. We just need to stick casing and a pipe in, because that opens up the door actually go through, negotiation. But this one, I would actually recommend towards the end, whenever we decide to really look at this, make it a 20.
Sorry to interrupt you. You have water that goes all the way here currently, or no, not yet?
Do I have water? Yes, I have
Yes.
water.
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm good on the east. So.
Okay. And so this would be connecting the east to the west, side.
It would, and one of the things I'm looking at right now, and I'm very confident the city of Gerald's looking at too, is on the west side, they're probably looking at continuing their 16 that y'all already put in, but it would actually go down the frontage road on the west side, which would tie into, says 12 would be 20. That's you.
Excuse me, thank you.
What?
We got it recorded right now. So the ultimate goal with all these boards would be, we will always have 12s and 20s and 16s going north and south on it. Everything's looped. Key is looping. And so this is one of the first ones that I would, if we had to put a priority on spending and growth for flexibility for the city of Gerald, Ronald Reagan is the next best thing. Because the next one we'll look at is in Bell County, and it's up there at Hill Road, which is literally the next big place of people, because you got a major, off ramp and everything. You go up another 3 miles, you got Prairie Dale. There's a lot of movement, short amount of land, acreage that you can really build a lot of commercial between, key off ramps and everything. But Ronald Reagan is the big elephant in the room right now, if I can say that. And it's coming, and it's coming quicker than what I thought it was, but we're already starting to feel the effect on the east side right now.
So that subdivision that's right here, I can't think of the name of it. They have their own water that's coming all the way from over here.
Yes, ma'am, it's coming off the 16, comes from right here.
But that's not big enough, so you have to create a separate line.
Yes, because what we prefer, what I prefer is to have for commercial. I look at residential commercial. I'm gonna run some large pipe up and down I-35 because commercial really all they need is fire flow. They gotta meet that. Water for sales and up, unless it's a slip and slide, nobody's making any money out of that. We want commercial for sales tax and fire flow. And so yes, we're gonna have minimum will always be a 12 on both sides of the freeway.
But on this one, you're saying increase it to a 20.
Yes, and the reason is because there's so much action going on, and according if you read the impact, it looks like the city of Gerald might be working with Georgetown to pull in some CCN, and my understanding it's like right below there. I don't know if it's still good, but they had it in the paper last month.
Where on that?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Is it near,
What you don't see on there is Gerald's.
like Texas or that area?
Yeah.
So, once we get that
Yeah.
elevated,
we're
they're
working
gonna
on
pull a line
something
over there.
So that's how I know.
16,
Yeah,
yeah.
so a lot of these things are right
And
now,
then
especially
the
on the commercial
aquifers
side,
go back.
so if we extend this.
Now, are y'all negotiating to continue all the way down to Shell Road, 143?
No, not right now. I don't have
But
that.
even though that was put in the newspaper, it showed,
This side. And
oh yeah, it said City of Gerald, full transfer, and then it showed Plucker Heights, or one of those other.
We're getting
We
the-
got you
this
covered.
much.
We don't need to worry about.
Oh, really?
This
Well,
is
they,
here?
yeah, they.
No, so they-
Well, this
there's some
one,
that's
yeah,
in
'cause you know
there,
the
private person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ours is like
That's right.
Okay.
minimal,
Okay.
but Texas
Yeah,
are,
absolutely, so.
they're gonna expand.
Mhm.
They're
Pull that line
barely
down
sitting
to
in a
their
nice
site.
place.
and
Oh, yeah.
then
Okay, well, they already are, so all the stuff that's got, okay, so we've got Parker line cutting up over there. So as soon as we get that ready, we start moving on these areas, and then the whole south side starts coming up. But our biggest one is we can't get from the main line over there down to here easily.
So is this an action item or just communication?
Well, I'm gonna take it as both. So one, I want to discuss it and inform you. And if one of the next ones, y'all will say it's something that we want to go ahead and decide on one or both and engage KPA to at least come up with design. It doesn't say you gotta go all the way, you can go into design. And it'll be 6 to 9 months worth of design on it, but,
Is this something we just wanna do on our own, or are we looking for the city's input on
This
the
is,
project, the locations?
so,
And
in the
purposes,
design
budget?
phase, obviously, we need to bring the city in and going.
Right,
This
it's
is,
your blessing, these locations, or whatever it
yeah,
is.
absolutely, but that's what, since KPA is both the city's engineering firm, our engineering firm, Gerald Swidner's engineering firm, our idea is that if we say we wanna go ahead and design, then we're actually telling KPA, go get with the city.
you know, let's
Tell
go
them, this is, we put a mark on the map.
Right.
Do you agree with
Show
where the
them
mark
this,
is?
essentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if they do, then it would come back and we would say, we will fund, the creation of that board for economic growth.
So this is a communication item right now, then, sounds like there's some more communication that needs to be
Setting
done with the
Yes,
city.
sir.
If they're independent or,
Yeah,
okay.
I would recommend what Joe had is that maybe we go ahead and approve at least the design portion of this, because part of that design portion will be working with the city to get that, because we can always stop it after design. The board is gonna
You
have
got
to.
plans, you got plans, so.
The board is gonna have to be done, we have no way to get from one side to the other. Now, if we decide to move it up 150 feet, or move it down 75 feet, or whatever else,
And what does it mean to approve the design? If we can just move it around, what are we approving?
the actual construction, how big is the pipe gonna be, what do the caps look like, all of, how deep does it have to go? All of the things that we've got in here, as far as what now this is probably one of the simpler designs that you get into, but, I don't know if anybody knows it, but we've got a bore underneath, right in front of the Bud Stockton Bridge, okay, right here on I-35. We had them put in a 24-inch bore, and we capped both ends of it, because we always thought we would pump water across that area. Okay, we've never used it, I don't know if anybody even remembers that it's there, I do.
But part of like what you're talking about, say, if we say, yeah, let's go ahead and go into, we're authorized to go ahead and go into design, and one of the first things KPA will do, we can get ahold of the city, and so it looks like EDC are looking at the 2 areas of a possible bore, and they'll go and look at their master plan and see how it fits within their master plan.
So that's why I included the original city.
12-inch or 20-inch, and where we, I don't know enough about this, to be honest, to say I can vote do anything. So, I mean, I see a map and I see a 12-inch line. Do we need a 12-inch line? Do we need a 20-inch line? Do we need a 24-inch line? I don't know that.
Well, that or the other one is, if we ask them to go into the design and confirm with the city what the size is going to be, as well as with the EDC and as well as with Gerald Swidner, come up with, what is the design gonna look like? Is it gonna be a 12-inch, is it gonna be a 20-inch, is it gonna be a 36-inch, is it? And then come back to us with, these are the proposed costs that are agreed to by both the city and, I guess us, although we're just building it for the city. And then we can make a decision, do we wanna spend the money on it?
And one good thing about right now too, the city is, and Lon can probably speak, well, I should speak better than I can, but they're close to, they should be months away from having your master plan officially done. I don't know if water and waste, but the water part, I think,
Yes.
my understanding is y'all
We're
are
very
within
close.
60, 90 days.
Yeah.
So for timing for at least have the conversation between the city, KPA, and EDC is a good time, because council will know here very, very soon what their future looks like on infrastructure. and with cost estimates, depending on what the council has asked for, how much detail. But usually they'll project 5, 10, 15 years out on cost. So, like I said, I think it would be something that would be good for us to, entertain with KPA, to work with the city, JEDC, to look at, are these the right areas? And what size do we really need, or the city needs? And, but amazing, I just wanna, bring something up to y'all. We've been here 10, 11 months here. One of our biggest things, 13 months that can really shut us down is with developers that say, we got any boards down the wrong way? I said, no, sir. I was like, oh man, permit's gonna take 1.5 years. You're talking about $500,000. It'd be nice to say, we've already got that covered. Really? You do? All of a sudden things change. Instantly in overall negotiation. Now they're looking at a $6 million investment, they're down to $3 million. Well, they could, if their peak capital is $3 million, they ain't worried about it.
Under professional engineering services, how much of that is design, do you know?
I don't know. Usually, no, I ain't like, I won't say it's 15% usually, but,
Well, there 15% is the professional engineering services. I'm going, of that, I'm assuming is it 50% of it is design, 60% of it is design?
For the board? Or,
for
no, I would say like 20.
Okay. I'll take it in. So we're basically talking about a $14,000 potential expenditure.
Wait.
To do a design. To get the design fee.
Is that what we're asking to do tonight?
We're just opening up, just to do something.
Well, I'm 100% for boring, but I wanna make sure we're aligned with.
You're probably looking at about $100,000 for a design for a board.
yeah, I would agree. But also too, I mean, we need to get direction from the city. Are they,
what is-
do they wanna go? I think we can make a presentation to the city
Yes.
and say, look, this is what we brought up to EDC. We are engaged to go forward with this on looking at going through design. Do you have a representative with the city that can sit down with APA, your firm, and identifies these are the areas what EDC has identified? And
I
the city's-
could get her now.
Okay, all right. Okay, so, Joe, you get to present it to the city.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're working with me.
Yeah.
You're working on it.
I have no issues with it.
Okay, all right, so there will be no action other than Joe will present this to Zoe to get us some future information, okay, such as at the next board meeting, we might have an action item. Okay, so if you do take a look at your balance sheets, you will see that we have sufficient funds
To support that?
to support one for sure, both of them in the time frame that it would take. We would have sufficient funds to do both in the time frame. I'm assuming that this would take more than the next 3 months.
Yes.
Okay. So,
No, you
yeah,
can.
get yours.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Everybody agreed that's the action we want to take?
Yes.
Good. Is there anything any member wants to bring up or talk about tonight? There being no further business in front of this board, we stand adjourned at 8:16 PM.
Perfect.